Here's a function transformation problem, okay? We've got this graph, and I'm trying to transform it like this. So this is the graph of f, and notice probably it's easiest to take some points to begin with. So what would those points be if you were just, and I really do think it's easiest to get points, 1, 1. So if you wanted to put an x and an f of x, you would have 1 goes to 1, 3 goes to 1, and 5 goes to 3, and the points in between. But what happens if you're not dealing with that? You're trying to deal with something like that. Well, when the inside transforms, it can really be cockeyed because you have to go backwards. In other words, if your outputs, right, if you're moving the inputs, the outputs aren't changing. If your outputs are that means x over 2 plus 3 are those values. How do you get to x? How do you get to the original input? And here you have to subtract 3 to get to x over 2, minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. And then what's x? What value of x would make x over 2 equal to negative 2? Well, if you had negative 4, x over 2 would be negative 2. 0, x over 2 would be 0. 4, x over 2 would be 2. Okay? This isn't even where we get to end, though, right? Now, we could graph this. This would be just a transformation of the domain. And notice the domain of the original function is 1 to 5. The domain is just worried about the inside. Notice is really just going from negative 4 to 4 here. And we could even do these dots, right? Negative 4, 1, 0, 1, 4, 3. Notice vertically it doesn't change at all from that picture. Okay, but what happens now if we want to do the range changes that are out here? Well, we've got to take all of this and we've got to multiply it times negative 2. So negative 2 f of x over 2 plus 3, right? And you could do that. You could take these and multiply by negative 2, 1 times negative 2, 1 times negative 2, 3 times negative 2. And then what's that? Well, that's a vertical shift up by 6. So 6 minus 2 f of x over 2 plus 3. Okay, so I'm just going to add 6 to these, 4, 4, and 0. Okay, well, first off, just notice what that says about the range. It was that the min was 1 and the max was 3. Now, the min is pretty clearly 0, and the max is pretty clearly 4, right? But now, look what happens if you plot those dots. We're starting at negative 4 and getting to 4, right? Negative 4 to 4. The next point is 0, and we go to 4. And the next point is 4, and we go to 0. Okay? So that negative, remember, flipped the shape, and the 2 stretched the shape. So the shape was stretched and flipped, and then shifted up by 6. That's where we end.